Welcome back to Cross Division Day 3. Of course, I'm your host, Katie Bedford, joined by Nameless, Pac-Man, and Study. I want to get right into it, Nameless. Let's talk about Envy. They won a Game 5, but it still went Game 5.
Yeah.
Twice in a row, but still a Game 5.
There's some gritty series, right? Like, they're going to that Game 5, but they're clutching up finally. They were 0-3 going into Cross Divisional. Now they're 2-0 in their Game 5s. So that's something to look out for on the side of
But they shouldn't have to do that, right?
Well, I mean, Red Reserve's a solid team. Red Reserve outplaced them at the last event. They did get top 6, so getting that win over them is actually pretty impressive. And I just think being able to clutch up and getting that composure is important on the side of Envious, especially on the side of Aches. He's having these good S&D performances, which is something that, you know, we're not really used to seeing out of him. He's switching it up, getting those first bloods and taking initiative, and that's definitely nice to see out of your leader.
It's good because they lost both hard points in that series yesterday, too, and they were still able to clutch up. Winning 2 S&Ds against a team like Red and clutching up that control is huge for them, right? So if they can carry that momentum into the rest of this week, maybe we see a strong Envy that sticks together.
Well, yeah, I mean, remember last year in World War II, obviously it's a completely different game, but, you know, 4 of the same players are on that team, and when they figured out their search and they were able to close out those Game 5s, somewhere along the lines, they figured out hardpoint, they figured out the respawn, and they started to go far in tournaments. So maybe that's happening for Envious. Probably a little bit too early to tell. We don't know if the damage is done internally. We'll see if they can continue this today.
Yeah, that's true. We got to talk about Study, of course, Hook, doing so well, really the star on that team right now.
I remember his stats from the last Pro League. It was a 1.19, a 1.2, and a 1.18. He's only getting better. The fact that this is
a glitch.
He's an absolute glitch on the map. And the fact that they're going Game 5s with this guy on the team is absolutely mind-blowing to me. But you can see what this guy brings to a team yesterday. We saw yesterday, it had a 10-kill lead, Red Reserve versus them in that control. And Hugh somehow just came in, popped a 2-piece grab slam, picked up the 3rd kill, and just all capped the point. That was a phenomenal play out of them. I'm seeing out of Envy just more teamwork, more just realizing what they need to be doing, just staying together, gelling, basically. And just overall, Envy played a really good series yesterday, but Hook is an absolute animal.
They're trying new things out too. We saw Hook running that Maddox on that Hacienda, and he looked amazing. He was like 31-19 at one point. He picked up full streaks, and you know, before I think they tried to have Apathy running it, but he didn't like it.
They switched it between.
Yeah, they switched it back and forth, and now that they have him doing it, he looked pretty good, and they had an opportunity to win that. We saw that lightning strike that, you know, sort of a blunder, didn't save it for fences, but overall they looked all right. I think they can figure out hardpoint going forward, but it starts today.
Yeah, we will have to see. We're going to bring up now our standings, see where each of these teams is sitting so far. Again, we've been talking about Envy, but they're moving up now 5-4 in Division B. But again, there's still a lot of cross division to play, Pac.
There's a lot to go, and I mean, I'm down here looking at Evil Geniuses. They've lost 2 Game 5s so far this week. They could be so much better than they are. They have to figure out how to close out these games. There's something
swept.
They got reverse swept, but I mean, they've been in position to win so many more maps. Maybe not series, but more maps than they have. They just don't close out. Maybe we'll see some their SOG duo step up today and try to get a win versus Envy.
I think Evil Genius is just chalking it completely.
I guess you would think that too, but late last night they were still going over VODs with Revan, trying to figure out what they're doing wrong and fix those little issues.
Guess we'll see going forward. Playing a hot Envious, I think that they got their work cut out for them, but at some point they got to get a win, right? At some point.
At some point. I mean, hopefully. But okay, let's talk about let's talk about our first match of the day. That is, of course, Red Reserve versus Heretics, and let's start with Red Reserve. You know, lost yesterday, and clearly tensions are still there between these teammates.
Yeah, tension's there, but the fire's there on that stage. I hear them getting hyped, getting excited for this match, and you know, we saw sort of some crazy tweets last night of anger out of the side of Red Reserve, but they lose both Search and Destroyers, right? If you take a Search and Destroyer, you're looking pretty good. You're beating Envious, who has some heavy hitters on their team in respawn, and you're beating them in hardpoint, clutching up and closing those out. So the talent's there, the teamwork's there in those respawns. I think it just really comes down to Search and Destroy. If they could take a Search, they can.
I think the turmoil within their team is not like interpersonal. I think it's just about winning. So like last night, Rated tweeted a tweet he ended up deleting, but it was just he was upset at how they lost the control. Like they captured that B point so early on and didn't manage to take that A point for like 2 minutes.
2 minutes, 17 seconds with 30 lives.
Yeah, that's a long time. So he's just upset that they didn't get it done, and that's why he said, "This is why we need to change, because we need to get over this hump." They want to be a team that can win. And right now, they're not one of them.
I don't think it translates to the gameplay. I think the gameplay is, you know, fine. I think it's just after effects. Like, we really did that again. But they're still friends, so.
Look at that stat for his adjusted KD versus EG.
Just watching Metals yesterday, he was an absolute unit. The way that they were able to reverse EG was a phenomenal play out of him and also Journey. Journey on that 4th map at a point was 25-9, but Metals overall throughout the series in hard points, even in S&Ds, was able to pick up 3 pieces with his SOG, and he was just shutting down every single player that he just ran into. And And honestly, going up against Felony, at least at this stage, it wasn't really that hard for him getting these 3 pieces, just dominating the map.
And we wanted to see what we'd seen before from Heretics. So I think, and it was important for them to be able to get that reverse sweep, come back, get a win under their belt, know, like, we can still do this.
Yeah, I think that was actually pretty impressive because they got 3-0 in their first match, and they're down 0-2 to a team that they probably expect that they should beat. And then they're able to come back and get that win, and it's kind of like, okay, maybe our old formula does work. Let's just keep working on it, keep practicing, getting better. And, you know, it takes a little bit of humbling.
Right.
Like, when you're that team that starts off hot and then people catch up and you start to lose matches, it takes a little bit of humbling, and you realize we need to keep on working hard. And I think Heretics is sort of in that process, and we'll see if they can pick back up that steam that they had early in the season.
Yeah, we will see if they can do that. We are ready, though, to get things started. Our first match of the day, Red Reserve and Heretics, with our casters, Ben and Chance.
Thank you so much, Katie. Thank you to everyone on the desk. A good old European fight to start off the day. I'm excited. I'm excited because I want to see more from Heretics. I feel like at the start of the Pro League, Chance, we were so excited. There was this big buzz around the Spaniards, and we got a lot of that. You know, they came out, they played very well, and then all of a sudden their performances just kind of started to dwindle a little bit. Obviously, a poor open event based off what we expected, but obviously their best that they've ever had. But now going up against Red Reserve, who just keep showing that resilience. They go into Game 5, even though they made a team change, but they didn't really make a team change. I think this one could be a good one.
There's going to just be a lot at play. I think we're almost to the point of the year where, because of how competitive everything is, there's going to be a couple teams at the top, like 2 or 3, a couple teams at the bottom, and then everyone else, it's going to be a 50-50 of who wins the series. It's who can make sure that their scrims, their practice is going to be on point all year, not making mistakes, keeping things minimal, and then who has that clutch factor. Because we've even seen it for the past 2 days.
Yeah.
A lot of Game 5s. All the Game 5s in the world. So your S&D obviously needs to be on point. You have to be ready to clutch. And it's just, you know, who can make the bigger plays with the specialist and who can manage this and that. It's everything to the minute detail is going to be the difference maker between most of these teams now.
And speaking of Game 5s, is that how you kind of see this series potentially going?
Yes. Yes. For this one, I do. I would not be surprised in the slightest if, well, we just have another go of it.
Well, buckle your seatbelts. This could be a good one. Red Heretics, Game 1, Hacienda Hardpoint underway. And we saw Red obviously on this map yesterday, Chance. We were casting it, and the one thing we noted was, you know, on this first hill, their corridor control. They're not afraid of pulling out a couple extra assault rifles, really locking it down. It was a big, big money haul. I think they had like a 50-second swing almost, I believe it was, on just this first hill yesterday. So watch out for them to maybe come out to an early lead.
And I believe repeated as well, right? Like not just the opening break, but consistently the first hill. Red Reserve doing pretty well, but not flawless on the map at all. And of course, Heretics right now, they're getting the swarm over towards Lambo. Still, even with these 15 seconds left on first. And, well, Method Sick, that's obviously going to be his job. He's making sure his teammates spawn near him. But Red Reserve able to get a little bit of that scrap time. But a player to watch, it's got to be Metals, right? They brought it up on the desk. He played out of his mind yesterday on a 4 streak at the moment. But there's a lot going on. Joe, again, always in the backline's journey, though, able to sniff him out.
And now Metals getting even closer towards those streaks as he picks up 1. That was Bance. Second player to fall is going to be 0. The Spaniard's getting loud as he finds himself just 250 points away. Journey drops around the outside, but Metals for now doing such a good job of controlling this rock side. And also, you may want to just play by the tree, play by the bush. Peekaboo. You still have teammates in the hill. You're picking up all the hill time. For Heretics, this has been a great second hill, but you're not going to be able to find those streaks. And now, a potential chance here for Red to break through.
I'm assuming that might just be an information thing. His teammate on Lambo calls out, hey, there's one guy up close, and as he peeks, oh, there's also a guy on the rock. So again, little details can make a big difference, but of course, you're winning the game nonetheless. You got a lot of time. The 15 seconds of scrap go your way. So Red Reserve, they will take a crack at it just to get a few seconds on board. But now, of course, for Red, they got to make sure that they win this rotation. They got a lot of clearance. They got connector covered. They got the backside covered. 0. Able to sniff out Metals as well. Fortunately for Red Reserve, completely give up the back spawns. Now your players are dying up on patio, and now you have to fight from the front. It's doable, but it's not easy.
Yeah, you have to win these gunfights. These are going to be the crucial ones, and it's Metals that springs into life. He gets a double. Right, they're able to trade, but Heretics still in the hill, so a good second hill, good Lambo, a ton of points, and now all of a sudden you go up towards fences, and they still have that back spawn. At least momentarily they do. Can they try and really put the pressure on Red Reserve early? But still trying to trade out the kills inside the hill and unable to do so. And now you have one final push if you are Red, and already the kill's going Heretics' way.
And this is just, again, good 2 to 3 rotation coming in from them. They were managed to get the back spawns while still getting the time from Lamborghini. And granted, Red doing what they can, trying to fight through the front, but a lot of kills going the way of Heretics. And you have to imagine, as years and time goes on, some teams start to lose a little bit of steam. Maybe they're feeling a little bit comfortable, start to slow down. Heretics, not going to be one of those squads at all. The passion is always going to be there, firing on main stage or whatever stage they're playing on constantly. And, well, you can kind of see just a little taste of that here. Again, Metals hasn't slowed down since yesterday.
Playing extremely well, 12-6 current stat line, and more closer streaks again. Pulls out a War Machine. Love this as he tries to lock him in, but he needs to at least find a kill. Hit marker. Finally, the kill comes through. That streaks for Metals and Heretics. Not only do they have a 70-point lead, there's still 30 seconds left on this hill. Still a couple more shots of the War Machine, or one shot to be precise. That's going to pick up Bans. This is the perfect kind of first rotation here from Heretics.
And of course, he gets that War Machine so quickly into this map that Red Reserve, I don't think anyone was prepared for it. Like, no one had flak, but honestly, you can't even really blame them because it normally doesn't happen this fast. So able to pick up 2 on another 5 spree, and, well, Heretics all firing on all cylinders. Even the scrap time here maybe goes their way. Bans gets the beat down, but no one for Red Reserve really showing any signs of life.
We're looking at a 100-point lead as it stands, but now back over towards the first hill. Second rotation now. Red, they have the early time. They invest the Tech 5 boost for that rotation. Try and control the corridors, and, well, so far, so good. So controlling the Lambo side of the map, which was really where they struggled yesterday. They struggled in the first rotation as well, and they need to improve on here.
I want to see improvements. Red Reserve have picked up quite a few kills, so trying to swing back into this game. Scraps, though, trying to surge forward. So many players up in this top hall right now, and Red Reserve, honestly, just pretty solid map coverage for the moment. 3 kills go their way. Now they can start moving forward. Of course, Heretics, well, one player is going to be in the back for them that they need to hunt down, but looks like they're trying to figure out exactly where he's coming from. So a lot of things going well right now for Red Reserve. Of course, they might have to deal with streaks sometime soon as well, unless Lucky or Journey just lock it in from the back. Lucky actually came up from water. They're causing distractions, and just like that, Heretics, well, they win the rotation.
See that kill. Journey on Scraps shuts down any Red Reserve potential for streaks. Now, if you're Heretics, you just got to win this couple of gunfights towards the backside of the map, and you'll have Red Reserve spawning out. Now the Tempest comes out, you know they're spawning rock side. This, again, perfect Hacienda hardpoint here from Heretics, but it's Zero that tries to make the hero play. Hops up from the water side, double kill with the grab slam. Scraps and Bants follow through. Red Reserve break in.
And it's a pretty good spot. Tempest is going to get taken care of by the grab slam. You make sure to get this time, and, well, you deal with the streak as well. Of course, if Heretics breaks right back on through, it's going to be a problem, and, well, Bants just had everyone to deal with from the side of Heretics, so he gets taken down, and, well, you can already see Scraps backing down. Red Reserve want to chalk it up, but not a terrible hill for them. They take care of quite a bit of stuff and maybe chip away at that lead. Of course, the problem is still a really big lead.
Right, still very, very big lead. And in terms of the stuff that they did kind of chip away at, the Hellstorm, of course, that was used by Metals. The Tempest was invested as well. As for what else we have, obviously Metals working towards another War Machine. Grab Slam close by Methods, and Sucker getting close towards that Vision Pulse as well. But the early hill time in favor of Red Reserve. As we get up towards fences, the kill feed predominantly blue. Methodic is in the hill. The Lightning was invested, doesn't find anything. Scraps and Rated both picking up big wins, and for Heretics, the kill's not going their way, but the hill time sure is.
Yeah, they did invest the Vision Pulse to try to make that break, but you can see Red Reserve storming right back through. Players inside, Flak is there, but you get hit enough, you're still gonna die. And Scraps, well, the third kill he finds just happens to be on his teammate, but he's saying, Joe, I want you to rotate. I need some of these streaks, though. And you got 2 players coming in 10. I don't know if he's ready for the pressure. Lucky up top, he's able to get the Lightning before he's shot in the side. And they'll take what they can get. Lightnings will absolutely help over towards this rock hill.
On with Zero losing that fight. Could be a potential for him to use it here. Yep, he's going to wait for his teammates. Beautiful use. Obviously, Zero wins that fight. You don't have to invest it. Doesn't even go for the ping. Has to call it in. 184, 125. Advantage Heretics. Scraps using the information he gets to find a freebie. Lucky outside. Scraps pretty much doing it all, it feels like. 19 and 16. He was close to streaks earlier on. He finally gets himself a Lightning. He's continuing his rampage here for Red Reserve.
And this is big. If they can get a full 60 on this or anywhere near that amount of time, they're right back in this game. But of course, if Heretics can stop them, they maintain their lead, but clean 4 down, coming in from Red. They got clearance on every side. Vance now essentially going for some, well, not quite spawn kills, but not far from it. Has another play in front. He's just trying to keep him at bay. Of course, 2 players for Heretics are going to be coming through mid. They're pinching from everywhere, but they're going slow. Still a lot of time goes the way of Red.
And Vance's game plan there was to see if he could try and set up Scraps for more streaks. That wasn't the case. Scraps was forced to stay inside the hill, and now all of a sudden chaos ensues for the final 10 seconds. Heretics pick up the scrap time, but Vance himself, who's doing such a good job almost just baiting for Scraps, finds himself in a situation where he's 200 points away from streaks, and, well, that looked like Maven earlier on.
I was going to say, concussions just kind of float when you throw them underwater, but he doesn't get hit by it nonetheless too hard, so he will be right back over towards this hill. His teammates saved a bit of that entry time for him, so he's going to only be 150 off. Maybe he doesn't trust himself. Maybe he's waiting for the right spot. I mean, if you can do it with the Maddox, it's going to be just fine. It's a good gun in its own right. Single gunfight on top. Free kill number 1. Kill number 2 doesn't come in, and, well, then you may have a point. The Tempest might have chained him. Might have given him some streaks, but still just 40 points down.
And luckily enough for Red Reserve, no one from Heretics has any further streaks. So it's going to be down a bit of a specialist race as to who can really lock down Lambo. Heretics did a good job in the first rotation. It was pretty split in the second. Now for our final rotation, Method Sick and that grab slam could be the deciding factor. Of course, on the flip side, Zero is still a little bit away.
Rated called it in his vision pulse as well. It should make things easier, but you can see the grab slam coming. Doesn't make it easier, but only able to connect with 1. All the players coming in from the back, but I think the vision pulse still rang true, so Joe and Bance able to pick up a kill apiece. Red Reserve, again, they were down by near 100 points at one point, at least 80, right back in this game, trying to hold on. The gunfights, though, not going their way. Heretics, just like that, snap their fingers back in the hill. War Machine, and where's the flak, Ben? I don't see any.
Oh, it's not out yet. 20 seconds. Heretics can't win it here, but they can put the game almost out of reach. Around about 236 points if they get every remaining scrap piece of time, which they should, because no one from Red is going to challenge this. They've rotated towards fences, and this is where you have to push out almost both sides. Really try and force the following gunfights and force Heretics to spawn so far away that you can kind of nullify the scrap time they were able to get there on Lambo.
Yeah, Joe feeling the pressure, though. He's going to back down, but you got 2 players up top, 2 players coming in the back. Method 6 was a gunfight. The gunfight's coming out all over the place. Vance didn't get the streaks when he had an opportunity to pull out the Tempest, but he's using it here where they need it the most. You're 12 seconds away from losing the game. Really? He just gets shredded. 0 cut down in the hill. Heretics, full control, 8 away, and they win the game. The fight is still here. Red Reserve not giving up. But if you don't get a clean sweep, it's going to be difficult. Zero the grab slam, only able to connect with 1. The Phantom Scraps are still around. Game's not over.
That's a desperation grab slam there from Zero. He recognizes he has nothing else he can do. For me, Heretics are going to win the following fight, surely. And that should pretty much be the game. 20 seconds left on this hill. It's contested for now, but Red have to fly forward, and they're flying into the Tempest of Heretics. Heretics take it. And to be honest, for me, that game swung when Vance was close to those streaks. I would have loved to see him invest the Tempest to secure them, because the actual Tempest you should get from him was nothing.
I mean, so that's why I wouldn't necessarily, like, I think it's an argument. I think there's certain players, if you're close to streaks and you have the Tempest, you pull it out right away, you go for it if you hit your shots. Like, if you think Dashy back in Vegas, if he's close to streaks, 100%, because he never missed, but some players nowadays aren't quite as good. And Vance, to me, is one of those 50-50. Like, he's solid with the Tempest, but I don't think he's good enough to guarantee the streaks, and if he prefers the Maddox, I think you could have a conversation.
The reason I think it's more so you could invest the Tempest there is because you're going to the first hill, which is where Red Reserve have really locked down the corridors almost every single time we've seen them on Hacienda. So for me, you can just play slow. You don't have to be that kind of dashy, flashy play style with the Tempest. You can just post up, get a pick, and say, all right, teammate, there's a down player there. Help me get the kill.
Yeah, then of course, if he just hits that first shot, then when he would have gotten the chain, you get the streaks all over the place, and it would have been beautiful. And you know what a really good hill to have streaks on is?
Over here, fences. Yeah, it's not pretty good.
It's pretty good for you, but I mean, there's a lot of things you could break down. Even Metals had the hot start. Like, he's getting streaks nearly doubled out. He's getting double war machines. Like, Heretics obviously played a fantastic game in their own right. And it was on this hill as well. Just a lot of care they took into making sure they keep these back spawns. So even when these kills are coming in, 50-50 split, they're just going to be there an extra, what, 2 seconds quicker to the hill on repeat. So, I don't know, Red Reserve just forced to throw everything at the wall. Zero having to grab slam. And honestly, kind of lucky to get it off as well, but just simply not enough players stacked up. And just so tough for Red Reserve.
Red did really well just to delay the game, because you can see, I think that Tempest actually chained 3 people. And a couple of teammates obviously come through and clean up the down players. Lucky was getting closer streaks anyway, but there's too much for Red Reserve to handle there. Advantage Heretics in the series, 250-204. Their star players in terms of hill time there, Joe and Lucky. And well, speaking of Lucky, I know Jess caught up with him before the game. Jess, what do you have to say?
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, well, Lucky said that he thinks this is going to be a really difficult game for both sides. He said, well, we really know how Red Reserve plays, and they really know how we play at the same time, but we think we can surprise them. He explained that when both these teams are in Europe, Red Reserve is one of the only teams that Heretics has the chance to scrim against. So, you know, like I said, they know each other's play style really well, but Lucky did say, I think we can take this one. Now, over on the side of Red Reserve, when I caught up with Scraps, he was also feeling pretty good. He said, well, we beat Heretics 3-1 in Vegas when we were at our worst. So we're feeling a lot better now. We think we can take it. And, you know, he said also that the team vibes were really, really good. And when I walked over, when I approached, things seemed to be lighthearted. Things seemed to be a lot better than one might expect. So that's definitely a good sign. But that's all I've got. Ben and Chance, back over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Jess. And obviously, Jess mentioning now that these two teams have played each other already on LAN this year. You go back to Vegas, Red Reserve with a 3-1 victory. And that, of course, was when, you know, according to the Red Reserve players at least, they were kind of at their weakest, at their worst. Bit debatable whether that could be now, but either way, they find themselves at 1-0 down. Do you see them coming back into this series?
Very well could. Again, I think game 5, round 11, honestly. Why not throw that in there as well? But a game 5 is almost expected at this point. I will say for Red Reserve, though, they're obviously professionals. Even if there's turmoil on the team, they're going to come into each day, fresh faces, they're going to be prepared. But the problem is, if there's turmoil on your team, you tilt a lot faster. Because you start making some of the mistakes. Now, Raid is going to be frustrated. Like, your level of frustration is already so high that as soon as, like, anything happens and triggers it, it makes it that much more difficult to come back.
Right. And to build on that point, you saw the frustration yesterday after Red Reserve's match. I mean, Raid was on Twitter basically saying, you know, that's exactly why this team needs to change. It's exactly why we can't have this team the way it is. The way they played the control yesterday was unbelievably sloppy. But, you know, new day, new series. Just having to find yourself 1-0 down. Now heading through to the search and destroy, which I believe you made the point when we saw this at Vegas, it went the distance.
Round 11. It's just, again, with how competitive all these teams are going to be, especially in a game like in Search and Destroy, in Black Ops 4, it's just, there's only so much strategy you can really pour into it, because at a certain point of the game, it's you're reading when the other team has specialists, you're utilizing your specialists of your own, you're playing for streaks, and there's so many rounds that it essentially comes down to like a TDM fest. So all the games you have are going to be close to 6-4, round 11, whatever it's going to be. So I expect nothing less here. I expect nothing less from these two teams, because neither one are kind of on like a hot spree. Like if it was Genji back in the Pro League where they're like 6-0, I'm calling them every day of the week. But at this point for these two teams, I'm just expecting the competition to be high.
Well, hope you like Gridlock, because we're here for 3 maps in a row, potentially, maybe just 2. Gridlock Search will be this game 2. Heretics with the advantage, 1-0 up in the series. Let's see if they're able to try and put themselves within 1 map and closing out the series. Zero with a sniper rifle on this map has been pretty good, must be said. But the Spaniards, well, boy oh boy, can they snipe as well. Lucky, first blood finds Joe, and now pressure over towards Red Reserve. And it's actually going to be Scraps with the sniper rifle out, round number 1.
Next kill, though, goes the way of Method Sick, makes it that much easier because you got the sniper on the back end. Well, for either team, Scraps can't connect, and, well, just one of those overwhelming rounds where it's Bans by himself trying to clutch the 1v5, and, well, if he pulls it off, undroppable. No pressure. He's dead.
He can get dropped then.
Well, I mean, anyone can. I think anyone at this point of the year is, no one's safe.
Oh, no, yeah, no one is safe.
Either way, Heretics.
Scary place to be.
Actually,
Sports.
Maybe the foreign teams are like a little bit safer, just because of the language barrier. Maybe. Hey, a little bit. I'm not saying a lot. Like, anything could happen. We have seen some insane stuff this year already. But either way, Heretics, good first round. Get the first blood, and the second, and the third, and fourth. Someone dies, and then you snipe that final player.
Well, for Red Reserve, I was curious to see if they were going to have any presence over towards B at all on their attack. No, not going to be the case. Instead, they funnel through over towards Showers. Heretics are going to know about it. The pre-fire coming through doesn't connect with anything just yet, though. Does that now give Red Reserve license to punt the bomb? Well, they think so. They've hopped on and, well, bomb down. 40 seconds. And finally, we get our first blood.
Fortunately for Red Reserve, Heretics have the license to kill. Zero's just going to double challenge. He was able to take one before he falls, but now the trades are all in. Metals does not get traded. Bants for the 1v3. Where'd he go? To the grave. And, well, again, you get the first blood. The bomb being down doesn't make a difference because everyone's just stacked inside of Showers, and you just have to be on point with the trades. And, well, Metals that round was the untradeable.
All smiles for the Spaniards. So far, they'll pick up that bomb defuse, and of course they'll be 2-0 up here in Gridlock Surge. And Reserve so far just not able to get things clicking in the early rounds here of the Search and Destroy. Here's our best play of the round. Was Metals flying through Showers. It's decent timing there on the scraps. Finds himself a double before ultimately dropping himself.
I mean, the thing is, if you plant the bomb, even if you have numbers, you're dedicating at least one player to watch the flank. Maybe you stick a guy in Showers and 2 on tree. Like, you can have all your bases covered because there's not very many entrances. But as soon as one player dies, you get a half second for the correct guy to fill in to watch up that lane.
I knew he was going to hit it.
Lucky hit the shot.
I knew he was going to hit it. Sorry. You were saying?
I was trying to talk about strategy. Lucky, though, just wants to snipe. So it really, either way.
I couldn't look away. Another first blood for Heretics. And bomb goes down as well. There's a second blood. Red Reserve falling apart, crumbling early on here in this Gridlock Search. A 5v3 with 30 seconds to defuse the bomb. Big thing here is don't feed Methods. Sick, another kill. He's 200 points away, and he does fall, so no streaks. And well, 3v3, if you hop the bomb, maybe this becomes a little doable. Someone has to check, and well, the stun's going to come through, and luckily, I think Joe did fall. He was the player defusing, and with 15 seconds left, that should be the round, but that was a little close for comfort there, Chance. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, Red Reserve has done that quite a few times, actually. They'll give up the plant. Well, not always for free. It doesn't help that Scraps got blooded, but you give up the plant over there, and they just take so many ARs, a lot of ICRs as well. You just have someone hop the bomb. You get one player up top, one player on the bomb. And so you're trying to kill the guy on bomb as fast as you have 2 players trying to kill you. And of course, that just means Heretics have to get the timing right. They have to double, triple, quadruple challenge, whatever it's going to be.
Just like that.
That's why I pulled off. You get 2 players coming through Sushi. I think that's exactly when the player on the 18 went for the challenge on the guy on top as well. And you have to force them to have too many things to shoot at.
It's scary, though, isn't it? When everyone kind of backs away towards the 18 side after you get the bomb down, and all of a sudden you're like, is he on it? I think he's on it.
Yeah, so Heretics basically have to play it reckless. Like, even if you have like a 5v3, you have to throw so many bodies at the hill expecting to die that at the end of it, it might just be a 2v2.
Right.
Like, Red Reserve has the advantage for the gunfights, but of course, it's not easy for Red Reserve in the slightest because, hey, there's only 2 guys shooting it, possibly all 5.
Well, Red once again on their attack. Want to go for the quick A. It works again. Still waiting for the first blood. It was Sukri who got it last time, and he's going to get it again. And there's a second. Methodsic flies into Showers. The nade does come through, but Red Reserve, they're just falling like dominoes. And the question now is, did they really recover from the loss yesterday? Well, it's a 3v2 in this round. It's definitely not over. Well, it is now. As Rated falls, they just don't look like they had that same kind of chemistry. I think that Game 5 loss yesterday may have just taken it. That was a very resilient trophy system. May have just taken a little bit away from them. Like I said, I saw Rated frustrated on Twitter. Yeah, I think you mentioned the players were going back and forth between themselves about, a bit of banter for this game. This doesn't look like the same Red Reserve squad we even saw yesterday. They just don't look like they're showing us anything, if I'm being completely frank.
I mean, so, like, there's a conversation on the retake of, like, all right, boys, how do you want to do this? Like, send 2 on the flank, 1 on the flank, have him late hit. What do you want to do?
Yep.
And Heretics is like, no, send all 5 straight in. Just run them over.
Go through.
Been running them all over the entire game. Let's just keep doing that. And it makes sense as well, because Red Reserve, again, we talked about a basic setup is at least one guy to watch the flank. Well, if one guy's watching the flank, you send all 5 through, maybe have a little advantage. And you can even see, like, Methodsic, kills the first play in Showers. No one's there for the trade. The guy that comes for the trade a second late, well, now Methodsic is full health, by the way. Lucky might try to hit some more snipes as well. His teammates just fall around him.
I don't know whether that was a blind read or just a good call But Heretics stacked mid, as did Red Reserve. Red get 2 kills, back away. Big advantage in this round as they look for the first round win here in game 2. And it's important for a couple of the Heretics players who are close to streaks to just stay alive. Journey scrambles away with 36 health. 2v5 should be impossible, but I tell you, Lucky has his teammates back. Can he hit the second? No, he can't. And for Journey, again, being hunted down by Red Reserve. Peaks again, not able to find the kill, but there's just too many Red players flying towards him. No streaks earned, and a good bounce back round for Red Reserve.
It's a very clear-cut game so far. Get first blood,
and
win the round. Get first blood, win the round, and well, I think you called it pretty correctly. The counter coming in, it's what I think few times guys from Heretics, maybe like Lucky sniped over mid once before. I think another round they sent a guy late through mid when they were head over towards B. So they've shown at least a little bit of mid-map presence, and Red Reserve is like, you know what, we'll just meet you here. Even if you only send one guy, we'll go and get that first blood, and they end up taking, well, pretty much everyone else with them as well. So nice strat call coming out for them. A lot of gunfights going down mid-map as well. This time Trade's coming in, and Lucky just waiting for the snipe to come in because he got players all over the map. And Lucky, well, the sniper ain't the gun for the job. Rated takes him down. Scraps misses the shot, but either way, we got a true and blue 2v2.
This is a big adjustment as well when you think about it from what we've seen so far. Zero is sitting at 1 and 6. You've seen him snipe the past couple of days on this map specifically. Scraps is going to take that away from him. He's 3 and 4. Neither player, for my liking, really producing the goods when you need him to, but it's a 2v2. Red, of course, on the attack. Going to put the bomb down over towards B. Both Heretics players over towards A, so now they have to rotate through. 40 seconds left. And it looks like the rotation is going to come more through mid-map into Ice Cream. So for Scraps, lying at the back, that's a cheeky little angle. Have you ever seen one? Time ticking. Heretics have got to be quicker. And Joe's hit a flank of a flank.
And well, of course, for Heretics, they've spotted out the bomb. They know Scraps is going to be playing in the back. Joe, of course, though, just going to go on the flank and just going to kill them. So now you got a guy maybe trying to figure out what direction he wants to go. The information obviously there. Methodsick in a terrible spot. He's not going to win the round. Question is, who does he die to, if at all? And, well, he picks Scraps. A lot of time wasted there from Heretics. I think most of the time when that bomb gets planted, you got to find out where the bomb gets planted for, first of all. And if it's planted for the 18, you got to go clear out the 18. But they take all that time to go over towards Broken. Then they say, oh, Scraps is over here. Wait, where's the other guy? You're busy getting shot in the back. So it's a nice setup from Red Reserve, and I think the only way to counter that sort of setup is you just have to go quicker. You have to get that information a little bit sooner.
Red 2 rounds back to back. Trying to come back into this one. Still 4-2 down, and well, Lucky hit this snipe a few rounds prior. He's going to have some action over towards B. And it's going to be Scraps. And Scraps is just desperately calling out. I heard that from here. 2-2-2-2-2. Well, little does he know. 4-4-4-4-4 should have been the call out. Joe hits the flank. Scraps gets first blood. I'll tell you, Joe, from a very slow start to now 10 points away from streaks. He could just crash if he really wanted to. And I think that's going to be his game plan. Just try and stay alive without finding any action. But now all of a sudden it gets scary. He may need to jump into the action. And, well, jump in he does. Managed to trade out. And it's a 1 versus 2. All down to Sukri here for Heretics. Does need to try and plant the bomb. Joe's already earned 1 streak. Can he get 2?
Quite possibly. It honestly might be worth jumping off the map just to try to avoid this, or if you can find the kill, you do have a little bit of time to work with. And actually a bigger problem is, Joe, how close is Joe to his streak paradox? 10 points? Well, yeah, if he tack 5s, he gets it. So
how much do you value a Hellstorm?
Yeah, Joe can get the kill, win the round, defuse the bomb, or just call an attack 5 next round, and he's going to get it. He's going to ping the lightning, probably expecting him to just not plant the bomb, which is the case. Again, Joe, this is a round to make the comeback. Not on B, and just play your life, and you are set and ready to get that Hellstorm next round.
Well, that's a good read from Joe. Of course, having the lightning in the back pocket forces Heretics to think, well, he could just streak bomb at any time. It's a high-pressure situation, so you're almost forced to find Joe. Joe wraps the map, puts himself in a great position. Honestly, that's a great play from him.
And how good is the chemistry between Rated and Joe, where Rated knows, I need to lose this gunfight from Journey. I need to get 2-piece. That way Joe can get the lightning strike and get 10 points off.
Just don't see it in
that is team. Next level chemistry. These guys have been teaming together for 3 or 4 years now. And that's exactly what happened, not a doubt in my mind.
Well, attack 5 invested. Hellstorm earned. Red Reserve make it 3 in a row. We're going to tie things up 4-4. Of course, Joe with a pingless lightning. And a Hellstorm at his disposal. They're already pushing over towards B, and Lucky, if you just peek a little to your left, just a little, you'd get the information. Instead, doesn't. There's the pick. First blood, Red Reserve, and all of a sudden they've sprung into life here in game 2.
They don't even care to play around the streaks. They just want to do it like normal. Joe up top, it's almost guaranteed kill. If no one comes out to check you, doesn't get the second, but technically he does because Lucky team kills, and well, that's a 0v3. You don't even need the streaks to make it happen. From down 4-1, all tied up, if there was ever any doubt that this would be a competitive map, oh, you would be crazy.
Last time we saw him play Search, round 11. It was looking like Heretics were going to blow them out. 4-0 lead, everything going their way. And up step Joe. Finds himself some streaks. Strings together some nice rounds, back-to-back. Important clutch. And we're all square. 4-4. In terms of specialists, Metals, of course, with the War Machine. Method Sick with a Grav Slam. Sukri about 3/4 of the way towards Vision Pulse on the flip side. Same can be said with Rated. War Machine for Scraps and Tempest for Bants. But this round, honestly, could be blown wide open. Grav Slam finds one. Method 6 shuts down Bants, so 5v4. Advantage Heretics and bomb down.
And it might only get you one kill, but it gets you clearance. These players are outside. Well, actually, that's Joe calling the lightning strike in. Finds nothing, forces him indoors, so they're expecting Method 6 to be there, but he takes one to the grave with him. Honestly, that nade might do some damage. I think it does, and he just wins the gunfight on Rated as well. Well, Red Reserve had a good strat to try to break it, but it just gets completely stuffed, and Journey to top it off, able to get the 2-piece at the end. And I appreciate the effort from Red Reserve because it was a tough spot once you get Grav slammed, but sometimes players, well, just win the gunfight.
And it was this fight here. Lucky finds one. The War Machine invested, of course, as well. So a big investment from Heretics to put themselves at mat point. 5-4 the advantage. They stop the bleeding. They stop the momentum from Red Reserve. And you're going to have Lucky close to Tempest. Now, honestly, it's going to be Red's turn. How much and what are you going to invest here? War Machine and Tempest available. You have to make sure of your Bants with that Tempest. You don't fall. He's going to pull it out. Didn't have success in the hard point. Can he at least get a little bit more success here? Well, with Joe falling for first blood, this is not the best start here for Red. That's just going to have to try and connect with some of these shots over towards Showers. War Machine was invested. Bants finally hits one, but he's being wallbanged. Needs a little bit of support from his teammates, and, well, half the Tempest is gone.
And you can't wallbang with the Tempest either, which is honestly probably a bigger problem for him. He takes Method 6 down, but he's getting wallbanged. You can't push forward. You don't have a Hellstorm to take the players down at Tree. Players mid-map are just waiting around. Red Reserve just hoping these players from Heretics push forward, which they do find Lucky. That bomb is down. It's just 4v4 gunfights through walls. Does everyone have enough ammo? I think most people have at least a clip. All the walls have been destroyed, but Red Reserve getting picked off one by one. Someone needs to make a big play, but Journey's going to take the advantage. Bants to shut him down, but the trades are in. 0 for the 1v3. He takes down one, but he doesn't have time. Gets the second.
Hold on.
Well, now he does have time.
You know exactly where he is. It's a hard gunfight to win. Jumps across, almost gets it, but Method 6 shuts him down. And Heretics fly to a 2-0 lead in the series.
We expect the rounds to be competitive, and we did call for a game 5. I do not know if I have that same vibe anymore.
Well, it was a game 5 or a 3-0, right? That's how it's been.
One or the other. No 3-1s here.
0-3-1. So, unless Red Reserve can turn things around in the control, it is not looking good at all. I mean, they did very well to win 4 rounds back-to-back, but really, that was about it. Heretics led from the beginning, very much like the same story in the hard point. And as it stands, the Spaniards 2-0 up as they look to get a little bit of revenge against Red Reserve. We'll be back after this with Game 3 control.
The Call of Duty World League is presented by PlayStation 4, the official platform of the CWL. Astro Gaming, the official headset and mix amp of the CWL. And Republic of Gamers, the official monitor of the CWL.
Champ Game Fuel. Level up the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. First game of the day. Day 3 here for cross-divisional matches. CWL, and it's Heretics versus Red Reserve. Heretics 2-0 up, and now this is where things get scary if you're a Red Reserve fan, because thinking back to maybe the past few days, Chance, we go to a gridlock control where Red haven't had the most success.
Well, they've been really solid on the map until the moments where they just, like, everything collapses. Like, have a 10 life advantage, everything's going well, you get the full setup on defense, and everyone's dead, and now you lose the game. A bunch of stuff like that. I think, what, 2 minutes to cap the A point on offense, you've got 25 lives to make it happen, and nothing happens the entire time. So they have been putting themselves in great spots. There's also been a lot of problematic stuff. Also, I didn't realize they were down 4-0 in the search. It's actually kind of crazy.
Yeah. From 4-0 down to 4-4, and then Heretics just win the final 2 rounds. Of course, it was Mathisic for the big game in map 2, 11-6, really leading the charge for Heretics. But can they close it out? For me, this is a big test for this Heretics squad, because very similar to some other teams here at the CWL, closing out series, closing out games is what has really kind of struggled, and it's been their biggest problem, in my honest opinion. And this is a chance for them to just do it here, get revenge on Red Reserve for the 3-1 victory they had over, what, 4 or 5 months ago back in Vegas? Seems like an eternity ago. But as it stands, 2-0 up, heading over to control gridlock.
It really has been quite some time.
It has.
Quite a lot of months. Of course, now we have, what, a couple more open events to look forward to. You got London, Anaheim, some playoffs kicking in, and of course the cherry on top at the end of the road. Either way, though, here on control, everyone's trying to go over towards A, as you'd expect. It happens on Search and Destroy as well, and Red Reserve say, hey, we kept getting run over in Search and Destroy, but this is a different game mode. Our trades will be on point. And while there's honestly just nothing to trade, no one dies for Red. You get 4 kills. You get the A point. Now you get 220 to try to cap B, or kill them all, either way.
Try and push out. Heretics are there, but just getting ran through. Nice lead, 5 lives, a full team wipe. The difference in the first 30 seconds or so. 450 off streaks, Scraps 325 off streaks. Couple players keep your eyes out. 4 in the kill feed, well, 0 drops, so that's no longer relevant. Now it's down to Scraps with all of Heretics off spawn. He's in a great position to cause a bit of a ruckus. Joe was in the B zone momentarily. Didn't last very long. Well, that was unfortunate there for Scraps. Looks as if he just ran out of ammo at the worst possible time. And credit to Heretics. They bring themselves all the way back into this one in terms of the life count. Now down just 2.
You know, I don't know if I've ever seen teams really like spawn kill effectively from the offense side of things. Like we saw LG put on a masterclass from defense. And I think we've seen like a couple teams have some good moments. I know Splice has done so as well on this map, but from the flip side, we haven't seen as much. And I think at this point, I'd like to see teams get a little bit better at it, right? Because we see time and time again where you cap the A point very, very quickly, and then you try to send 3-4 players on the flank, move towards the hill, but it never really works out. The defensive setups are always a little bit better.
Yeah.
Just something I would be, I don't know, looking forward to as time goes on.
And this one, Heretics a life advantage. Just over 50 seconds to play. And 0 ticks invested into the B zone. 0 though with an opening from Showers. Is that going to be enough to split open Heretics' defensive lines? Well, with 3 of them dropping, maybe it is. Joe instantly flying through post, trying to get towards the B zone. Hops on it. And now pressure on Heretics. The life advantage completely gone. +4 in favor of Red. And well, the kills still going their way, or are they? Team kill from Journey. Slows things down a little bit. Finally, the zone's contested. Joe being so patient over towards 18. Slides back out. Lucky will fall. And Red Reserve now a massive, massive advantage in this one. I'll be mind-blown if they don't close it out.
I really like the setup they have as well, which we can break down as soon as the round ends, but the B point almost certainly going to get capped. Heretics no one around. They don't have the lives, but Red Reserve did this quite a bit yesterday as well. They try to get a SOG into post, you get a SOG into the 18, so you don't like heftily stack the hill, or at least they don't. Some teams do, but they make sure to have a lot of pressure. So even if it's going to take them an extra 10, 15 seconds to actually capture the point by leaving players outside, you make sure you have enough control that like if a player tries to go past the pillar, either saw can rotate and help it out. Like you don't have to have an ICR like dedicated to watching like the left side of the 18 because you got a player inside. Like you can feel free to roam, you can watch the mid. So it's a slightly different arrangement than a lot of teams go with, but obviously you can see that works pretty effectively.
Oh, it sure does. Very nice round out of Red. Really ended how it started. Reserve dominance. Now it's going to be Heretics' turn. I'm going to show B off the rip. No, looks like it's going to be exactly what Red threw at them. All flying over towards A. 2 players from Red Reserve pull away from the zone, but right number 2, Joe, flies all the way through. He's now in a position to maybe flank. Are they going to collapse in here? That's the question. Oh, with 2 ticks gone, if you're going to do it, you got to do it quickly. And the problem is, 3 players from Red are all on the flank, so if Heretics decided to push through the zone, they could essentially nullify their positioning completely.
I was honestly confused for a second, thinking Red Reserve is on offense again, just because how many players were on that side. But now something that's going well right now is Rated is actually rotated back to try to catch the players that are coming off spawn. And while the player coming off spawn is Metals, Rated catches them, so damage done. You still keep players in the back. You maybe aren't getting the true blue spawn kills, but you're still keeping them completely trapped in. 3 life advantage, and things are going fairly slow at the moment. They're taking care of Rated. Now they got to find Joe, and well, Joe just wants to potentially wait for his teammates, find a sneaky spot, but he does get sniffed out, and Heretics maybe have a small opening here to try to whittle through the cracks.
Zero and Vance could be in trouble if Method 6 pushed through his hole in the wall. He spotted both of them. Vance is going to drop first, surely. There it is. And teammates in support. 3 players from Red go down. Now they're inside the zone. Heretics looking to tie things up, but Zero with a big win over towards post. The flank of the spawns come through from Method 6, but I don't know what he was shooting at because it definitely wasn't Red Reserve. Couple players left, looking in the zone. That's Streaks. He's been a nuisance for Red throughout this series. He's going to go straight to the Hellstorm as well. Not wasting any time whatsoever. Doesn't find the kill, but forces Zero into post. Zone contested. The life count, not massive, 21-17, but still the pressure in the zone.
That's a big gunfight coming from Metals as well. You keep players inside, and just like that, the round is over. 2 for 2 on offense. You know, Ben, I was talking about maybe the offense team should try to spawn kill a little bit. Well, you don't need to. Obviously, you don't. You just go inside the hill and win the game. Of course, it's better than at the others, and the Heretics taking full advantage. They get the Streaks, call them in instantly. And Scraps with the War Machine wanted to do what he can, but just getting tagged up from everybody.
Yep.
Teamwork on point from Heretics.
Well, unfortunate from Scraps' standpoint because he wanted to really put the pressure down. You can assume they don't have flak on at that point. But sadly, the War Machine not able to be as destructive as it can be. And Heretics tie things up. 1 round apiece. Back over to Red on the attack. First round, it was Operation Flyover towards A. Keep your eye on Sukri, though. ICR route, 45 points, all he needs. At EKA will do it. Needs his teammates with him. That might be the problem. Does he have the teammate support to try and earn that first streak, or are you going to have to concede? Well, the stun isn't going to help. He's going to be flown at. He's done well to just scramble away. The attack 5's invested as well, just to try and keep him alive. But the problem for Heretics, very much like round 1, they put some pressure over towards A. It's not enough. They have to concede the zone, and you're still looking towards those streaks.
Of course, Joe earning that tack 5. Zero's got the grab slam as well, which we already know you can pair those to make a big play over by B, but Streaks is still trying to be hunted down. Joe wins a gunfight. His team trades in kind. And now they're surging forward. They got 4 players making their move, and again, Zero just holding on that grab slam. If the moment strikes, pick up a big 2, maybe 3, or if you're slapped, pick up 5.
It's funny, you wanted to see some spawn trapping. Well, that was a chance. Metal says, I don't think so. Get out of my spawn. He finds 2. He was just rated at the back, and Sukri has found the first streak, and he's found the second as well. So 3 score streaks available for Heretics. They're only down 1 life, but they're going to invest the first streak. That's going to be the Hellstorm. It's going to call out 2 players over towards Ice Cream. Doesn't connect with either, but again, it allows Metals to push forward and be a bit more of a nuisance.
If I'm Heretics, I would not be shy about burning all of your streaks to try to get this defensive round win, because you've already shown you can do pretty good things on offense, and, well, not shy at all. Lucky calls in the lightning. You got a player solo, essentially, in Sushi. Sukri, by the way, has gone and left, maybe running low on ammo, but he's returned to his post in 18. So now you have to call in more streaks, and there's Zero with the grab slam. You're trying to burn everything, but you're not in the hill. Zero's able to find a 3rd. Give him the 4th as well. Now you used all these streaks. You don't have hill control, and when we talk about Red Reserve, league players outside the hill, well, they're going to do it once again. They want this 18 control. Zero wants everything. He's going to get the lightning, and more importantly, still in the hill. Only 1 tick through, halfway gone. They're going to get it. And just like that, you blink, you miss it. The round over. Red Reserve now have the advantage.
And the problem there is if you're going to use the streaks as quickly as you are, you have to make sure you have someone in Sushi. You can't just allow Scraps to walk on in, start putting pressure on, because as soon as that pressure comes through, Zero's allowed to fly straight through with the grab slam. He opens things up. I mean, he gets 4 kills. Yes, okay. Odds of that happening every time, pretty slim. But still, as soon as he has the grab slam, you need to make sure when that lightning strike is coming through, you have inside covered. If you don't, well, exactly that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, use the lightning strike to get the perfect setup. Like, you know what the grab slam play is going to be. It's the exact same thing. Almost every single time. Coming in from the front, get past Sushi, call it in. So you just stop that. Have extra ICRs over by post. And again, just maybe miscommunication. Who knows what the issue was. But either way, another offensive round win. This time on offense, Heretics pouring over towards the B point. They get dropped. And, well, now they might have to rotate to help out Journey, who for himself by himself for the moment.
Well, Bance is close to streaks. You don't want to give him any unnecessary points, but the trophy goes down. He hops off, the flankers come through, Bance could be in trouble. There's the kill that comes through, so no extra streaks for him. So far, the only streak available is going to be 0 with the lightning. And she was able to earn at the latter part of the last round. Heretics, a lot of pressure into A. That's 2 ticks, and while looking at the minimap, no one's going to stop that. So that is done and dusted. A 2-life advantage for Red Reserve, 2 minutes 15 to go. Can Red Reserve hold on?
All these streaks that we have, but I don't even know if we've seen a streak get a kill on this map in this game so far. Not like the 2 or 3 that have been called in. So obviously Gridlock, a little bit trickier to get great use, but it's still nice to have them anyway. So again, a couple players still hunting those down. You got to keep rated in the back of your mind. You got to watch all the pressure coming in from the front. A lot is happening for the moment, including Joe winning the gunfight. The player that's in showers has to back down. So now it's about those players up top, but Raid is feeling the pressure. 50 points off, and well, his health is falling around him.
Well, he has a trophy system. That gets him at 25. Yeah, one more. Go on. He's just hugging, waiting, but the push comes through. And just too many angles for him to watch. And now you see the lightning come through, but it could be the exact same play. Exact same play. Methosic with the grab slam. Is he going to invest it here? Well, he's going to have to heal. Knows there's a player in post. For now, he can contest, waiting for his teammates to come through. When the teammate support arrives, he may just pop the grab. There it is. Finds the first. It's Joe. Instantly gets traded, but that was what he was waiting for. Metal slides through. 3-4 players go down. Now all of a sudden you have Journey in post. He's thinking about maybe going around the flank, but the first tick is already through. Tick number 2 on its way. Post finally falls. War Machine out by Scraps. Is there a trophy or is there flak? Well, there's a team kill. More shots go down. Finally 2 contested in the 3rd tick. Scraps with the decap. And that's enough for now. Red Reserve survive.
They do clear out Lucky as well. You get another kill of Metals just flying into Sushi. So it's not going to be easy for Red Reserve, but it's not going to be easy for Heretics either. Full control of this B site for Red. Now you got ICRs that need to give you some wiggle room so you can push up. Maybe a couple players flanking, but Red Reserve have 2 different guys watching the flank.
And now the question is, when is Sucker going to use the vision? Well, there's your answer. He actually just pops it straight away. Time is of the essence, and you've got to go. They now know exactly where everyone on Red is for a few more brief moments, but you have to get the kills, and kills they're not able to get. Red holds strong, a 4-man wipe, a 5-man wipe with a vision pulse out. Well, we don't have 3-1s, Chance. This one looks as if it's done, so you want to fast forward to game 5?
We might have to do so because, of course, Rated should be able to get his vision pulse here in a second as well. But the one push, again, is all it takes. You get the wipe. You're here. Metal's first blood. Rated, though, with the vision. What can you stop? Well, not that gunfight, nor those Heretics inside the hill. Zero's going to fall. We've seen it from Red before. We're going to see it again. You're getting killed by ICRs. You can't get forward. The B point gone. Just like that. Are we going to see a game 5? Maybe. Maybe we will, but not yet, Ben. Not yet.
Shout out to the audio guy in the back. He got a little bit excited. Nope. It's going to a round 5.
I mean, he's a Red Reserve fan. He's thinking, like, there's no way they lose this. They're going to get this win. You can't blame them. They had the full setup, but it happens all the time. And this is where Rated, if we could listen to the comms.
Oh, he's lost full.
He's not saying very nice things right now.
No, almost exactly the same as what happened yesterday. Heretics, take my vamos. You survived a round which I thought was over. It should have been over. You invest a vision, you get 5-man wipe, you come back and you still make the play. But now you have to win defensively, something that hasn't happened so far in this game.
Let's see if you can make the dream come true. Red Reserve trying to, well, just not completely lose full, because if you go 3-0 and you blow a lead that you had, it will not be helpful later on. Of course, a player coming on the flank. Red Reserve has done a very good job of watching this in the past. They do have a player watching the close flank. That's going to be rated, but the timing not great. And Method 6 stays alive, so at the very least, Red Reserve, they're going to have to be worried about every single angle, but seem to not be worried too much. Joe's able to find 2. They get that first point, and we have seen 4 offensive round wins. You have to imagine there's no way Red Reserve don't get another. They even have the grab slam again.
You know, normally I'd like to listen into comms, but this probably isn't a very good time.
Oh, no, probably not.
To go over to Red Reserve. Oh, well, we wouldn't really understand too much of Heretic Spanish, so stay with us for this round 5. As Red once again trying to push through. A couple of kills should be traded out, and that's one which Metals has to win. Scraps has somehow walked away with it. Now, note, Zero does have his Grav Slam. Bounces close to a Tempest. Scraps, doubtful he sees another War Machine. On the flip side, lucky with a Tempest, maybe Metals gets a War Machine. That's what we're really working with here in this round 5. Minute 15 on the clock. 24-23, life advantage in favor of Red Reserve.
I mean, it's got to be Zero, right? It's got to be the play with the Grav Slam, what they're expecting. Of course, lucky as the Tempest, like it's going to be specialist galore. Red Reserve again, just need that one clean break.
This could, I think he's setting up for it here.
You also have Joe going on the full flank. Does he even want to wait for Joe? Or does he want to go right straight in for it? He's going to go straight in.
Oh, no!
Hits a car. There is a car there. It does blow up when you hit it with the Grav Slam, and, well, it will kill you if you near it. So we talked about how you see the same Grav play all the time. We see a different one. Doesn't matter. Doesn't work.
Well, 2 interesting specialist usage as Metal slides into post. Life advantage still even. One more player for Red trying to contest, and now is that license for Heretics to try and push forward a little bit. 30 seconds on the clock. The life's down to 1. 19-18, make it 18-18 as 2 players from Heretics fall. Now it's Red's turn to just put on the aggression as Method 6 slides out, doesn't want that to be contested for long. He's bought time for his teammates. There's a Tempest out, if I'm not mistaken. Meanwhile, the flank from Joe over towards post. He's able to find one. Time is ticking. 20 seconds, and Heretics are hanging on, Chance.
This is the most I've ever been able to feel tilt from a team from 30 feet away. Red Reserve.
12 seconds.
It is a hopeless situation. You got to flood the front. Rated trying to flank. He's able to get one, so maybe an opening, but the ICR has got to fly. He's got to get inside the hill. His team's win a lot of gunfight. For 2 seconds left. Can he get inside? At 2.1, they stop the clock. They do not have a life advantage. You're even there, but they don't have a tick yet. They're going to have to be so good, Ben.
It's just one wave of gunfights. That's all you have to do. 2 seconds. Someone has to stay in the hill. For Heretics, you've got to find an opening. 2 players go down. Red, have you done it? 3 go down. Lucky's hit the flank, though. He's trying to be quick, but 2 ticks have come through. Metals now, the last remaining hope with the War Machine. He's going to drop 2.5 ticks. It should be it. Red Reserve, they've snatched the game, or have they? Because Method 6 slides in. He's contested. He's bought time. Somehow he's found himself into a miraculous little position. Lucky with 2. Heretics, I can't believe what I'm witnessing. They've somehow broken through. The decap comes through. Scraps with a double, but it doesn't matter. The time runs out, and Heretics snatch away what could have been a miraculous comeback from Red.
I don't know how to follow that up, Ben. That's how I would follow it up, because goddamn, that is. I'm gonna be like, I'm watching in Codcaster, and I saw that double kill come in, and I was like, Red Reserve, wait, no, oh baby,
Get 3 dead.
That is brutal. You do everything right repeatedly, and the Spanish just say, no me gusta, we got this one. Let us on through.
The fact that Heretics were able to go from post into sushi.
Yeah, for Metals to get through.
How has he even got there?
Should have never happened. The fact that you don't even have a player in sushi is honestly a little bit confusing, but you have everything set up. But we'll be able to take a second look. It's Metals that sneaks through eventually on the second go around. And look how close they get before this man gets inside. As close as you could possibly be. Scrap shooting at him, doesn't quite connect. The trade's not there. It's Method 6, slips through with 83 health, and then, well, everyone falls. Joe, well, doesn't go for the instant challenge, and he catches a fist, and then everyone's just too far away. Scraps is thinking, boys, why do I need to even be in the hill? What happened to you guys? Where is everyone? And that is heartbreaking for one team and hilarious for another.
Feeling very good. Very good about yourself if you're on Heretics, a 3-0. So the 3-1 curse of the CWL continues. No 3-1s. And that another one of those games where, honestly, if you're a neutral fan, load up Twitter relatively soon, because I think it's going to get a little spicy. Red Reserve again on gridlock control. Just let it slip.
They just got to stop playing gridlock, man. Because
at this point,
again, repeatedly in great spots, they never make it work.
Yeah, it's getting tough to watch at this point. Heretics 3-0 to start the day. A great performance and a fantastic clutch. We'll be back with the post-game analysis after this.
The Call of Duty World League is brought to you by Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, the official beverage of the CWL. Scuff Gaming, the official controller of the CWL. And TCL, America's fastest growing TV brand.
Keep a little cozy corner in your heart for me. Keep a little cozy corner in your heart for me. Keep a little cozy corner in your heart for me.
That was about the worst case scenario for Red Reserve. Absolutely not what they wanted to happen here again. Now 0-2 overall in cross division. Of course, Nameless, Pac-Man, Study, we are back. Nameless, I mean, we just watched it. It was like a meltdown after they lost.
Yeah, you know, it's got to be tough. The way they lose that game 5 and then also the way they lose this series, just kind of spiraling out of control. And when we were talking about Red Reserve possibly keeping this roster, it looks like that's out the window now. And a change is in the making for Rostermania. But, you know, I kind of want to talk about this first hard point here because Red Reserve did have an opportunity to maybe claw back into this game, but you see them before this, got to this point, they kind of overpushed that fences hill where they could have just rotated over here to Foursquare, and then it was only Rated who initiated that, and then they're late, so it kind of gives a back-to-back double whammy on the side of Heretics where they're able to pull out that War Machine, pick up those kills, and extend their lead by a huge amount, what ends up to be a close game.
That's the worst thing you can do in Hardpoint.
If you rotate, you get rid of these streaks.
Lose an old, give up old, get new. And that's how you keep the game in balance. But instead, they had more than one person. It was like 2 or 3 decided to hit about 10 seconds of time at fences. They still lost that time and lost rotation. Unacceptable.
Yeah, you would have avoided these streaks. You would have possibly got the game within like 20 to 30 points if you just get half that time, and you end up losing 204 to 250 in a game that could have been yours.
In these S&Ds, on the side of Heretics, it was definitely lucky for me just opening up the map for his teammates. They popped like at least 4 or 5 first bloods. Lucky was hitting snipes when he needed to, especially just the fact that they were able to pop a first blood, break Red Reserve's setup, and just completely just out-trade them and out-flood them. It was a great S&D out of them.
In this round here, Joe pushed aggress towards showers with bomb. They dropped bomb and showers. Now, for the rest of this round, Bans downs a couple guys. Like, he downs his guy more than once, Method 6 showers. They never progressed. It felt like they were scared to move up showers. They sat back here the entire time. After having a couple people down, it was such a weird round to watch. They never progressed up the map. It was almost like they were scared to move up. Like,
even right here, they have this 4v4. It's like somebody has to try to initiate something, and they're just playing so slow, all baiting each other. You're not going to make any progression here. You're on offense. You got to go do something, and just bad communication and no organization on the side of Red Reserve. They get that down with the Tempest. That's your opening. You have to seize that. You're down 5-4. You're about to lose the game. And Zero ends up in this 1v2 where he can possibly win it. But, that ICR from that mid-range is not going to be good enough and they're going to end up losing this map. And this round could have been theirs if they just played a little bit more aggressive. You see that communication kind of.
They were down 4-0 in that map, too. That could have been a huge comeback. Joe picked up full streaks, got them back into the game. They just couldn't close it out at the end. Specialist rounds went the way of Heretics.
In these controls, even before this round right here, it was a situation where Sucre it's like anyone who had streaks defending the B site, they were going to lose that round. Because Red Reserve had streaks one time, and then Heretics was just able to just fly in there, pick up a couple kills, and secure the point. And the same side on the side of Red Reserve as well.
So, all right, let's look at this ending here, because something at the end just had the green room going crazy. It was so hectic because we saw that 2-piece out of scraps, and we're like, oh, my God, Red Reserve just won.
At this point, the Red Reserve should win the game.
It was pure pandemonium right here, but you see them. Okay, so they're in the 18. They have 2 guys pushed up here, and this player, Methods, gets into Sushi here. He heals up, gets into Sushi, and he gets this 1v1 gunfight that pretty much opens this up for Heretics. It's like, how do you get in that room?
Him getting in there caused turmoil. And what's weird is there's only 2 ways into the hill at that point. You either go around the 18 or you come through post. How is that not being watched? Scraps is the only person on it, but he was still able to.
They had 3 guys right there. They had 3 guys next to that green car. One guy getting Sushi, or at least get the angle. How is he just freely running into that room and getting that kill? That's unacceptable organization out of Red Reserve. And they get 3-0'd. Like, it's mind-blowing some of the maps, how they lost this. Look how close that is. And what we just broke down, each one of those plays, if it goes to the side of Red Reserve, they can win that series.
Well, look at Scrap's reaction right here when they lose.
Because right at the end, he got kills as the game was ending. So he used his War Machine. He thought he did enough to secure the win, and he just didn't have it. And it's just back-to-back tough days of just close losses. Yeah. I mean, those S&Ds and the control are just the bane of their existence.
Even the hard point.
I mean, they lost the hard point. They could have played it a lot better. But the fact is that they've lost now, 3 S&Ds in a row, back-to-back gridlock controls where they probably should have won. I mean, that's tough.
It's obvious mistakes, too. Like, it's not these little minute things. Like, it's obvious mistakes that they're making that it's like, can you fix it? It's happening on a consistent basis. Like, I think they have roster change imprinted in their minds at this point, losing like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just tough. Again, you saw the way Scraps grabbed his head, pulled his headset off, obviously very upset. But let's look at what we have coming up next.